All right, welcome back, everybody. So, I know my players might not be able to see it, but on Twitch right now, I put up this stat screen, which is just a quick summary of each of the characters in the middle of the screen with all of your names and relevance, attribute, and action dot ratings and special abilities and all that kind of good stuff. So, I've been editing those as you guys have given me information, so I think we are.
Does this make us famous, darling?
Does it make you what?
Famous?
Famous, yes. It's your first step to greatness. We'll allow Adric's rise to fame to kind of parallel our rise to Twitch supremacy. How about that? In other words, it's going to go very poorly.
Leading role.
Okay.
It looks great there, John.
Now, we have the really fun part, which is crew creation. But just to say, great job on character creation. Are you guys all happy with your characters?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much. Anything that you want to change, even if it's a wholesale redo, just let me know. Obviously, we can do that. It's not a big deal, okay? But I think this is a pretty cool group come together here. And now we're going to formalize it by forming the crew. So give me 1 second to get to crew creation.
Do we need a crew sheet? Do we have a crew sheet?
Yes, you do. So what we're going to do is, if you look on the journal tab once again, I have the default playbooks for the crew sheets up above the default playbooks. Assassins, Bravos, Colt, that kind of stuff. And so you can look them over, and you're going to choose one of them, and then I will delete the rest of them, basically. So, and then that will become your crew sheet. Now, here's the way it works on Roll20, though. If you go into your actual character sheet, there is a tab on the character sheet that says, let me find it here, where it says above the name of your playbook, it says character mode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you click that, it will switch to crew and then faction. All right, but here's the deal: you don't want to ever click it off of character mode. Okay, what I've done is created a separate crew, a separate character that will be the crew sheet, which you can all modify. Okay. So do not keep track of the crew stats on your own character sheet. Keep track of the crew stats only on the single crew sheet that you guys are all using. You understand?
Got it.
Okay. All right. So, but that's basically how we're accessing the crew sheet, just so you know how I did it on Roll20. Okay. So I gave you the brief description of what the crews are. Now that you kind of have your characters formed and kind of know their backgrounds and heritage, some likely choices should rise to the surface. A lot of these mechanics and stuff for crews won't be necessarily evident as you look at the sheets, but if you open up, for instance, why don't we all look up at the Assassins one, just for an example. Everyone got that open?
Sure.
Yes. Okay,
so building up your crew is similar to building up your character, except you're going to be doing it jointly. But it has a whole bunch of different other things that you can do other than your character. So you want to gain reputation. The more turf you have, the less reputation you have to get in order to kind of move up a notch. You want to increase your hold on your turf in your hunting grounds from weak to strong. Your overall level is known as your tier. You start at tier 0. Okay? And then you have what you can see here is sort of a map of conquests that are typical for assassins. So you have a layer to begin with, and then there's these different pathways that you can take. And each time you claim one, you gain the benefits of it. All right? But you don't necessarily have to go in that direct path, but it's the most likely path that you would take in order to gain power for your crew. You can gain special crew upgrades. You can gain special abilities just like characters have. You can get cohorts, which is like gangs, basically, or experts, like a single expert, like a physiker or something like that. Or a vehicle, like if you're a smuggler, for instance. Your crew will have contacts similar to your own character, and you will gain XP for your crew based on the sort of scores that you decide to do, and things like that. So, and you will attract heat, which is sort of an unwanted resource that you're going to want to defuse, sort of like getting rid of stress. that kind of thing. So it's really, really fun to kind of manipulate, massage your crew into full bloom as it sort of expands its reach throughout the city. If assuming that's what you want to do, perhaps you don't want to do that. With that in mind, you can kind of take a look at each one of the playbooks and decide which kind of appeals to your interest. I mean, don't necessarily look at the mechanical benefits. I mean, they're all going to be fun to play. What I would do is you kind of know what the general theme is of each one, and based on what your characters are, let's hear some ideas of what you might want to play.
I like hawkers and smugglers both. I like the idea of like having sort of an economic or like business element. Because like hawkers are like purveying vices, so we would like start to own like drug dens and stuff. It would be like very much like
you'd have a lot of dirt on a lot of people.
Very like Peaky Blinders-y, kind of like taking control of these economic things. I like smugglers too, kind of for similar reasons. Where it's like I like the idea of doing something of like the scores and the violence and stuff being like a means to this kind of like economic end. Whereas some of the other ones are very much like, okay, at least I mean I'm sure that there's like. It's not that.
Yeah, I like those two. I like Cult as well. If we could riff Cult in a more interesting way than just...
Whoa. Is that a yay or a nay, Ted?
Something buzzing on my desk. I'm sorry.
It's a forgotten god.
That was the voice of my goddess.
This is the Shadow Queen.
Who gods?
I like... I mean... Ted, let me know what you feel. But I'm not terribly attracted to assassins, bravos, or shadows. The three that I'm attracted to are cold hawkers and smugglers.
The crew primarily determines in the overall play what kind of scores you're going to be going on.
Right.
So keep that in mind.
That's what we'll be doing.
Well,
what you'll be doing exactly.
I had imagined, of course, David. I had imagined assassins or shadows.
Oh no!
But my third choice was hawkers, which is one thing that Chris said. I don't know if you said it or not, David, but I'm like, I mean, I just can't see my character as a smuggler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really. I like hawkers better.
I feel like we fit more as hawkers. Well, for some like I think smugglers.
Well, it's worth asking ourselves too. If two of us are essentially refugees from a recently ended war, where would we operate in an economy like this, right?
Yeah, we can get to those
through fronts.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so our crew would make sense if it was attached to something like that. Not that it has to be dictated by that.
I see what you mean. Like in general, people who are sort of coming from outside of society find ways to sell vices to people and stuff like that.
Totally. Yeah. So hawkers make sense to me.
Let's see if this kind of jives with this is the official short description that they have in the book. When you play hawkers, you earn XP when you acquire new product supply, execute clandestine or covert sales, or secure new sales territory.
Cool.
So instead of hunting grounds, which most other crews have, you have a sales territory where you sell your product. And you have to answer the question, what's your product? Who's your supplier? Where and how do you sell it? So that's the kind of stuff that you're doing. It says all of Doskvol craves escape. They can't go outside, but they can turn to you.
I will say that's interesting. Yeah, I will say, to play the devil's advocate, that in terms of my character's type at this point, very little of hawkers is represented in what my character is historically, or what his functions are as like effectively he's built. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's a supposition right now, but the Hound sort of sounds like a bounty hunter of sort, or a rifleman.
Well, that's the sort of thing that a larger crew, for example, would certainly want to acquire a bounty hunter type of guy when you find that Knuckles McGee from that territory over there is moving in and selling the White Lotus in your region. If a bullet got its way into his temple, that would be excellent for business.
I mean, I also think like the crew type is going to determine like the kinds of scores and things that we're doing and stuff that we're trying to get.
That's what I'm getting
but
at,
our characters together will determine how we get those things done.
Sure.
Right.
Obviously.
The fact that you're 1/3 of the group means that like there will be an element of like tracking and.
Oh yeah, you'll never be an odd man out, David.
Right.
But if you are not if it's just you as David don't personally like it,
I'm not worried about being the odd man out. I'm concerned that in terms of maximizing our creativity as a group, I mean, like basically my guy plans ahead and then like shoots on people, right?
So why didn't you want to do an assassin thing?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because what you're saying sounds like assassin.
Yeah, but I don't need to be literally a killer for hire to be a rifle guy. You know what I mean? Like I'm being pedantic because I'm just trying to think through.
Well, just remember, David, too, that you were an officer, you were of high society in Scotland,
sure.
But something has caused you to end up on the streets as a criminal. Like whatever whatever crew you take, you are now a criminal. So something happened. Like if you guys end up trying if you guys end up with hawkers, it could be very, very well that you resent having been brought this low and having to do this kind of work. Like you hate it, that kind of thing. But you find that you have a taste for it. Like like you're kind of good at it actually, and that could be something that you have to deal with. Maybe you end up. Maybe that's how you indulge your vice. You have to go, ask for forgiveness, or or have to keep constantly reminding yourself to accept your fate, that this was brought upon you for a reason, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not against doing hawkers. It was one of the ones I liked. I'm just trying to sort of spitball with the guys in terms of choosing between the three that we all liked.
I have an idea.
Trying to sort of like phase different ideas out in terms of appropriate stuff.
Hawkers.
I'm happy to do all of them.
Well, here, bear with me, David. I have an idea that I think is relevant to both your characters. The hawker as vice dealer, I'm reading the description, and it is very non-specific what that vice is. That vice could be drugs or prostitutes, or that vice could be illegal weapons.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or, military supplies, or, stolen military surplus.
And think in terms of the actual setting as well. Think about what if you actually purvey in spirits,
right? Like if we pervade sort of weapons and stuff that hurts people in general, and then like you get to the higher tiers and it's like here's a haunted rifle, or
totally,
magic weapons, or like
spooky shit like that,
ghost bullets, like
or maybe you get contraband demon blood off the Leviathan ships, which is worth more than gold, or something like that, or you deal in electroplasm, or I don't know, you don't necessarily have to confine yourself to typical real world vices,
Right. But my point being that those other alternatives of vices lend themselves well to your characters.
Yeah, I think we can figure anything out. So, what are your two top sort of?
Mine was assassin or hawker.
Okay.
Well, assassin or shadow, actually, but I would. Okay. Hawker was my third.
Okay. My top two are hawkers and smugglers. I would say assassins is my least favorite.
Now, if you're going to be a criminal, you might as well commit the big crimes, the way I see it.
And mine were called hawkers, smugglers. And the way I was looking at cult wasn't necessarily like literally we're a religious. Maybe hawkers is better, because what you just said was what I was thinking. What I liked about cult was delving into the spiritual elements of the game. And sort of the artifact acquisition statement in its description was interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some cross-pollination with that and hawker in the sense of like vice or like acquisition, right? So we could easily sort of.
If you want to divest yourself of the following thing, though, then hawkers would be more apt. Like you could still deal in occult artifacts, Yeah. But cult does actually require you sort of to be acolytes of a god of some sort.
I don't think we should be acolytes. Yeah. So let's do.
It seems like the one that was on all three of your lists was hawkers. I'm not pushing you towards that, but
yeah. I like this idea of occult artifacts.
Yeah.
And actually, I see how this kind of connects to Adric, which is these are another aspect of his interest in the arts.
Yeah.
You know, these are ancient artifacts. It's sort of like, you know, somebody trying to sell haunted Greek amphora to the Met kind of thing.
And go ahead, finish your thoughts, sorry.
No, that's basically it. Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think for me, on a sort of a meta level, in my mind, getting the most out of the setting, being, for instance, like drug dealers seems fairly bland. You could play a couple different genres and just like deal crack.
Yeah, we did that in Shadowrun.
So like going with artifacts, delving into that sort of like the special element of the setting, I think would be cool. So I think that's
I love it.
I also think the lines between those things are like pretty fuzzy in this setting.
I totally agree with that as well.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be playing the wire. You know what I mean? Like,
So, and some scores might require killing, and you know, they might require different elements of different crews.
Totally love it. Yeah.
It's not necessarily what every score will be, but this, as they say in the book, your crew type is how you're known in the underworld of Doskvol. So both the criminal factions and the Bluecoats think of you as that word. So, you know, both the law and the other criminals view you guys as hawkers. You know, you guys deal, you do this kind of stuff. You know, that's what you're known for. All right.
And stuff that is explicitly magical is actually illegal, right? So, like...
not necessarily.
I think we're all agreed on it.
Not necessarily. Sorry, I thought that was...
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, it's stuff that most people just want to, you know, stay away from.
Oh, okay. I thought like anything having to do with ghosts and stuff was like... Ixnay.
It's definitely... If you traffic with ghosts, you are going to be looked on with deep suspicion. But as long as you're not doing any harm to anybody, then, you know, whatever, you're just kind of looked on as weird. But you're allowed to be a whisper. You know, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to change my name to Omar Little. Are we ready?
I'm looking at the sheet for the Hawkers, and I'm liking it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I think the Hawkers is the best fit for all of us. I think we'll find some.
Yeah.
Some good,
All right. So we're agreement on Hawkers. That's just the first step is to choose the crew, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna do Hawkers. So everyone, open up that sheet.
Got it right here.
Love it.
Okay.
I'm sheeting it.
So don't fill anything in. Actually, who wants to be the filler inner of blanks, just for right now, not necessarily all time.
I'll do it.
Okay. Sure. So no one else write anything, just so there's no confusion.
Okay.
All right.
And I want it in crew mode, right? Yeah.
Crew mode. Don't click anything else. Yeah.
No. Okay.
All right. So your crew begins with this. Every crew begins with 2 coin in its coffers. All right. So underneath the little map there, you should see coin.
Mm-hmm.
Click 2 of those.
2 coin. Got it.
Excellent. You are tier 0, which is, you know, not clicking any dots.
No dots.
And you have a stronghold, which is already clicked for you, and you have 0 rep, which is already taken care of. All right.
Okay.
So that's pretty much as weak as it gets. Actually, in the previous version of these rules, we're in 8.1, which is the final version. The version before that, 8.0, actually had you starting with weak hold, and John thought that was a little bit a little too rough on people, so they gave you stronghold in your chosen hunting grounds to begin with. So you do get that one leg up for playing the most recent version. All right, so that's the baseline for every crew of Blades in the Dark. All right, moving on, we choose an initial reputation and lair. So your crew has just formed and acquired a lair. Given this group of characters and their previous escapades, what initial reputation would you have among the factions of the underworld? Choose one from the list at the right or create your own. So you earn XP when you bolster your crew's reputation. So think of this as another cue to indicate what sorts of actions you want to do in the game. He gives the example, will you be recklessly ambitious, targeting higher tier targets? Will you take on daring scores that others deem too risky? Are you interested in the strange weirdness of the dusk? That might be you, actually. So the examples they give, these are just to give you ideas, but ambitious, brutal, daring, honorable, professional, savvy, subtle, and strange. So those are just touchstones. You can build off of that if you want to, but you have one descriptor that you guys are known for, and that's because you are so weak at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I'm feeling a little strange if this is what the type of stuff that we're trafficking in is. And we're foreigners.
Yeah, I think that's a good
one. Go strange?
Yeah.
Strange. Okay.
Hey, that is our reputation.
That's a good reputation to have. It just means we can get real weird with it, and we'll get XP.
Now this is an important one. So that's going to be kind of what you're known for. Is like there's these new weird dudes around, and they deal in some crazy shit. And a lot of people, both the blue coats and other gangs, are like, we should probably just keep an eye on them. They're probably nothing, but that's sort of what they're going to be thinking about. All right, so now a fun one. We need to think about what your lair is. All right, so you, as they say, you begin at tier 0, so it's probably a very modest or abandoned sort of place. So you can't, I shouldn't have to explain this, but you can't be in like a noble house or something like that.
No. I would
unless it's the ruin of a noble house. Okay.
I would like to put a vote in for the unassuming back room of a merchant's shop. And I'm imagining, if memory serves, it's been a long time since I've seen it, the movie Gremlins, where they get Mogwai or whatever it is from that crazy Chinese guy, right? And he's got that shop full of whacked out crap.
Yeah.
Now imagine we're in the back of that selling the really weird stuff.
I like it.
All right, I'm gonna
like. Would we have our own premises, like other than that, individually, or like?
Well, that's. Oh, you mean we're our own apartment?
Like where like I might have been like operating on people or doing my like street doctor stuff, or is this kind of like our we all share this and this is the only space?
Maybe that's where we are. Your own operating theater.
Well, I don't think I would have a theater. The thing is, like, I'm not an official doctor. I've never been an official doctor in this country.
I use theater very loosely in this term.
Right.
You're a doctor, right? You need sharp tools. We want sort of like a sales front in terms of a shop, right? What if we're running like a diner or like a shitty Americana sort of like old burger joint type thing, right? Like in world, right?
No one's going to have a doctor in the back of a burger joint.
You're cooking up patients in the back, right? You're fixing them up.
Oh, it's a pie shop.
It's
selling meat pies.
Yeah.
Well,
selling pies. We serve up.
I like old kind of retail establishment, and then maybe if I practice medicine, I go and do it elsewhere. I'd make house calls.
Well, here's it. Just to be aware, you can't own a business,
right?
Okay. It would have to be, you'd have to have the permission of the owner, or it would, have to be an abandoned merchant shop or a warehouse maybe of a business offsite, or something like that. You have to keep that in mind.
Be a little or the back room conspicuous than what we're saying.
I got it. How about the merchant is one of these guys that sells he's like an herbalist and sells tea and things like that. And so you've been back there, removing appendices when necessary. And we've started filling up your little operating room with like crates of, ghost vessels and ancient statuary and weird crap like that. And so anyone who comes by to buy something, and there's old blood on the table and you got bone saws hanging on the walls and stuff like that.
All right. I like it. But are you saying that we can't be associated with an actual vendor, John?
No, you can. I'm just saying you can't.
You don't own it.
You can't own it. Like you can't make a profit off of it.
You have to have some relationship with it, which allows this to happen.
If it's an operating shop, you're definitely gonna have to really have a relationship with the owner.
Right.
Yeah. So we need to have some sort of. Let me think. I don't know. Who would let us cut up bodies in the back of their shop?
A lot of people.
The herbalist.
Depends what part of town you're in, right?
Yeah, it totally depends. Which, if you look on Roll20, I've put up a map of Doskvol, where we can choose the actual areas here.
So also we're probably not in. Where'd it go? We're not in Brightstone.
Yeah, Brightstone and White Crown are the two kind of noble districts. White Crown being by far the more lovely. But the real shitholes, okay, is Dunslow, which you can see to the far east there by Ironhook Prison. That's where Sergeant Velk is.
That's where I go to watch the fights.
That's right, where you watch the fights. But for like a rundown sort of, where legal activities take place, sort of out in the open sort of shop, you're probably talking about. I'm
Six
thinking
Towers.
No, Six Towers is sort of like an abandoned noble district. It's actually a great place for lairs because there's a lot of space, but it's all in ruins. So it's like it's like where a lot of people, where a lot of nobles actually left, and so there's kind of overgrown. Coleridge is where all the factories are. Basically, very dangerous place.
We want foot traffic if we're peddling goods, right? So,
sorry.
Silk Shore is that red lamp district, and maybe Tubes has been fixing people's
syphilis,
groin diseases.
Yeah, totally. I love it.
That sounds cool. I'm down with that.
So, a back room in Silk Shore,
like a home remedies shop, doing well there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's sort of like, so the front business is legitimate actually, is like an herbalist, homeopathic sort of treatment, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just writing this down. I just want to make sure I got it.
I'm writing unassuming back room of an herbalist in Silk Shore.
Okay.
Are we agreed?
Yeah,
I like it.
David?
But it's basically centered around Clinch's abilities, pretty much, right? Like
right. So how do you spell your name, Clinch? Just like it sounds?
Klinch.
Oops. Clinch.
If you go into your character sheets as well, you can change Ted's PC to Adric. You can do that so everyone can see.
I need to do that. How do I? Well, I'll put it there. Okay. Clinch is a doc.
Okay, cool.
So, reputation and lair. Okay.
Got it. Give me one sec. All right, I'll give you some more information on Silk Shore in a little bit, because Silk Shore is actually a really cool district with some very distinct neighborhoods that you guys are probably going to dig. It's not all just sort of like prostitutes, It's got a lot, a lot of cool stuff.
And groin diseases. Don't forget the groin diseases.
And the groin diseases, yes. Hand in hand. Okay, establish your
Is that how you got it?
Establish your hunting grounds. Now for hawkers, I believe that changes to sales territory. So every time I say hunting grounds, assume I'm saying sales territory.
Right.
Your crew is brand new, but you have chosen some small part of a district as your selling grounds. This is the area that you usually target for your scores, and you know it well. Your selling grounds don't have to be in the same district as your lair. That's important to remember. Okay, you could lair somewhere and then go and do your score somewhere else. That might actually benefit you, so you're not kind of feeding on your own. The area is small, only 3 or 4 city blocks, but it's still an intrusion on someone. The entire city is divided among larger, stronger factions. The GM will tell you which faction claims the area, and then you decide how you're going to deal with them. All right? So, in the area that you choose to have your selling grounds, there's going to be a faction that's going to say, hey, what are you doing? So your choice will be for that faction that you can pay them off, in which case you give them one coin in exchange for giving you room to work. Or you can pay the faction 2 coin as a show of respect, and you gain +1 status with them. Or you keep your money, tell them to fuck off, and you take -1 status with that faction.
I say option 3.
So we have to pick an area, right?
May I suggest the Silver Market in Brightstone?
Do you want
it? Where's
Brightstone? One of the landmarks is the Silver Market, a curated open-air emporium overlooking the North Hook Channel.
Oh, nice.
Host to luxury good vendors of all sorts, including rare Eruvian silks, spices from the Dagger Isles, rare chemical distillations, including some illegal essences, to which the City Watch turns a blind eye. Seems like the kind of place we could sell arcane artifacts, maybe.
That's a good one. I was going to say like the night market, which is like a similar kind of like marketplace.
Where's that? Night market.
Up north, a trade center for exotic goods imported by rail. Many vendors also trade in illicit goods.
I like
similar.
that.
I think the silver market is like more classy, and the night market is more like
probably more like us, huh?
It's the night market is definitely more like you, but the Brightstone would have probably better opportunity for greater wealth. But you're also looking at heavier blue coat patrols, more chance for heat.
Okay,
and there's a lot of security in Brightstone.
they're looking at us like strangers, two of us.
That's true too.
So I would say night market.
Okay.
Slightly lower profile.
Okay.
Okay, so the night market, right, dominated by commerce. It's near the Gadok rail station, which brings in the train traffic from outside the city. Receives the bulk of saleable goods. Let's see. Right, the nouveau riche is sort of here, the merchant class, the emerging merchant class. Right. Let's look here. I'm looking at the Devil's Tooth, a tavern known for its secret menu of alchemical concoctions. Adventurous psychonauts may experiment with all manner of mind-altering or spirit-altering substances in the relative safety of Mr. Kember's comfortable establishment.
I like that.
Nice.
That might be a good touchstone place, maybe.
I love this. Night market is the best place to trade illicit and arcane goods in the city, but the darker corners are full of strange horrors.
Yeah, the ones that got away.
Yeah. You can take +1 die to acquire an asset here. Cool.
Yeah, okay. So we're down with the selling grounds are going to be the night market.
Where do I record that?
Give me 1 second.
I guess I could write it next to sales territory somehow, but there's not a lot of room there. I'll tell you what, I'll just put it in notes for now.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's actually sales territory. That's where it should go.
Yeah.
I don't know if it can...
Not really room there.
You could just put night market and then expand upon it in notes maybe or something like that. Okay, so just give me a couple. I'm just going to read through some of the factions here, and I'm going to decide who is going to make claim to your area. Now, let's think here. Do you want to... Everyone, go to page 272, which is the night market area.
Yep, I'm there.
Yeah, I'm there.
And they've only got a couple of landmarks here. I was looking at the Devil's Tooth.
So we pick a specific landmark?
No, not like it could be one of those, but I'm just thinking like in a general area because you can't, the whole place, the whole ground, the whole night market is not going to be your 100
right.
It's going to be like just a 3 to 4 block. So I'm trying to think about what specific little slice might be best for you. Like, do you want to have something that's like right near the rail station, or perhaps like a couple blocks that are near one of the Grand Canals?
Right. I kind of like I like the description of the Vale as this like luxurious social club.
Me too.
Where you like kind of like find. I could see us like acquiring clientele there.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got the body of a serpent.
Body of a snake, darling.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? And that bridge right near there borders the entrance to Coleridge, which is the big factory part of town.
Nice.
If you want to have maybe some access to the waterfront.
Nice.
So I'm thinking here. So on the map, that's actually.
Oh, are you on the money map there?
Yeah, I'm going to point to. I believe it's right here. You guys see that?
Yep.
No, all I see is the Blades in the Dark cover.
Move your. It's a large map. So move.
I see. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
You're in the right spot, John.
You see my arrow?
Yep.
Okay, so that's the veil. So I'm going to draw like a little circle here, and let me know if you agree with this. Okay.
This being our sales territory.
Yes.
Great.
I love it.
Well, I'm not done yet.
So the idea being, I mean, we're not going to actually be like walking around the street trying to sell these damn things. It's more like our reputation would be that if you need to find something like an Eruvian skull statue, head to the night market in this region and these guys can maybe set you up, kind of a thing. Is that the idea?
Well, you have to tell me how you're going to deal with the situation in your hunting in your selling grounds. Like basically that circle I outlined, if that's okay with you, I'm thinking is the block radius where people can like
where we can be found.
Where somehow you found a way to actually unload your stuff and paying customers will pay for it.
Right.
In whatever way, shape, or form. Okay, whether that be, using the shore side there, your access to the bridge, or the Vale on the far side of those selling grounds further inland.
What if? Well, go ahead. Sorry.
First of all, though, is that circle okay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm saying like it's bounded basically by the Vale in the east. The east is to the top, by the way, on this map. It's bounded by the Vale to the east and by the bridge to Coleridge on the west. Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second.
I guess what I was imagining is, with something like drugs, you sell it on the corner. With something like art artifacts, you have to build contacts. How do we build contacts?
Here's the thought.
Okay.
Here's a question. Because we're still selling, right? We're not just on the acquisitions end, or would be smugglers. And we want to do our business in essentially an elite club that has a bit of a luxury, a bit of a Madame's brothel feel to it in the description.
What, the Vale?
The Vale.
Yeah.
That's actually essentially where our storefront is, right?
Right. Permissive policies regarding guests of arcane or unusual origins, so they might be pretty permissive of
John, could you just
us dealing enchanted talismans in the back or whatever?
Yeah. Well, I have two thoughts, and they're not mutually exclusive. I like the talisman thing. Reiterating sort of the rules of how souls are, when not extinguished, bound to this world within the lore. Basically, they don't go away because the afterlife.
Basically, if you don't specially destroy the body using electroplasm, which comes from demon blood in the ocean, then the ghosts remain in the city and haunt the city and stuff.
Yes.
So here's my next question.
People keep their ghosts bound to their bodies, and that's how vampires exist, or something.
Well, this is what I was going to ask. This is a bit of a left field thing. Maybe we don't do this, but. Going with this sort of red light district feel, is there a way for us to leverage the capture of, or the experience or interaction of, with ghosts of customers who want to interact with ghosts? Essentially, not like sexually, but to be clear, because that was sort of where I was branching it from. But just, is there any way of binding or sort of capturing spirits within the lore?
Definitely, yeah. You can.
So one of the things you can be capturing in sort of this luxury experience of the Vale is a rich person's access to a spirit of some sort, right?
Wait, I'm not quite understanding what you're saying.
I'm saying that rather than exclusively finding artifacts as items of value that we try to sell, we could attempt to acquire spirits, ghosts, and sell those.
Oh yeah, that's super illegal, but but that's awesome. So that goes directly against what the stated mandate of the spirit wardens is. Those are
exactly.
So that's their job to do.
Literally sell the spirits, or we could sell access to the spirits, like communication with, interaction with, or like a sideshow horror.
I think. I feel like at this point I would go more broad anyway. If we could be purveyors of arcane.
Sure.
Yeah. A question for you guys though: have we moved our lair now back to Night Market, or are you still planning on having your lair in Silkshore and you do your business up in Night Market?
Yeah, this is the critical thing, because what I was getting at before David started getting into the ghost stuff was our lair needs to be in Silkshore. That's where we hide. Our business we do in person, with contacts. We don't have a storefront. We don't have a shop you can come in and look at the wares. We find someone who's a mark or a target or a sales potential or whatever.
Sure.
And that person says, I need Eruvian skull necklace. And we say, I can get you one. And we bring it to them and sell it to them. Totally. And that's the area where we work, because that's where we're safe, because we've got a deal with the local faction. Does that make sense? like whether we're dealing out of the lobby at the Vale, or whether there's a coffee shop near there that we meet people at, or whatever. That's a territory where we make, like, where what we sell, fits in with that region and that part of the city.
Right. Well, I was getting the sense that you wanted the marks that we find to be found through the Vale. Right.
That was also part of it. Yes.
Like it's a good place to, because it's permissive, because the people there are a little weird.
So right, but it's all interpersonal. It's nothing to do with a storefront.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe your storefront has nothing to do with your actual business. Like
right.
Like you do nothing.
Our business.
It's where we meet up and plot.
Right.
And where I cure people's syphilis.
Right. Right. Is that more what I'm hearing?
I'm a little confused, to be honest with you, but
our lair is in Silkshore. That's where we hang out.
It's our house,
and do our plotting.
We hide our goods and
we maybe store our wares. But we do the actual sales and transactional stuff up in Night Market.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
That's what we're saying.
Where there's good clientele, and where we have arrangements with the local people.
If we spend one coin, otherwise we have a rivalry with the local people.
Sure.
Yes. That's what we can change that. We don't have to do it that way, David.
No, I think if we are finding clients through the Vale, that we need to have some sort of deal. It doesn't make sense to have like.
I would agree.
Yeah. I mean, if we're on the street, you know what I mean, or if we're working out of Silkshore, out of our own enterprise, we could have a rivalry.
Right. I think the nature of our thing though is that we're not like selling it on street corners. We're not like
exactly. So we would have
that standing there with the code open, like have some crap. Okay.
Yeah. No. There's no confusion about that. I agree. That's what I'm saying. We want to be working through the Vale.
I think we're all. I think we're on
agreement of some sort. Sorry.
I think we're all good then.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
Okay. So now I need to determine a faction that you're kind of stepping on their toes in that area. So just give me a second. I've been looking at some stuff here. Okay. Continue to talk amongst yourselves, though. It's cool.
Here we go, talking amongst ourselves. Do. So I'm just adding some notes to our crew sheet here about what we just decided. We hide out in Silkshore, but operate our business in the area of Night Market around / near the Vale. And I spelled Vale wrong. Where we find and meet clients. Sounds so very normal businessy that way. Bunch of freelancers working at Starbucks. All right. Is there Wi-Fi at the Vale?
So, guys, quick question.
Yeah.
If our business is operating out of the Vale, are we still in the back of a shop in Silkshore, or we just have like a place to stay? Because it sounds like Silkshore is no longer a transactional space; it's just a home.
Well, I guess it depends on how you define a lair. My thinking is like the Batman doesn't beat people up in the Batcave; that's his lair.
Right.
Yeah. So then our
operates in Gotham.
Home. It's not like right.
It's our hideout.
Our hideout.
Our stuff is
where
there.
we plot.
Yeah, where we plot, where we sit around.
Like a couple crates of weird artifacts that we can go and get for customers.
There's an old chair we found in an alley.
Yeah.
It's got a rug on it. Maybe there's a cat. And we've got a little fireplace there. We brew some of the tea we get from Mr. Miyagi up front.
Oh, no.
And we smoke big spliffs and hang out and come up with, our next operation, our next score.
I love it. All right, cool.
For example, if we decided we were going to steal a whole bunch of artifacts from some other gang because we needed something to sell,
we would take them back there.
Client, that's where we would plan it, is at our lair. Right? Because everybody knows the the Dog's Bollocks over in Charcoal or whatever it's called. Those guys have got some of that really good Aruvian shit that Lord Muckamuck wants.
Yeah.
How are we going to get that off of the Dog's Bollocks? To sell it to Lord Muckamuck. Come on, David, think of something quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We all just starved, David. David's like, what?
Okay, so just to be clear, you guys were discussing the Silk Shore versus Night Market thing. Are we still doing Silk Shore is only a lair, and Night Market is where all the dealings?
No, that's clear. What I was asking was, we're not doing business out of Silk Shore anymore. So what I was insinuating was like, we're not going to be doing surgery on people in the back room behind the herbalist shop anymore, right? We're just making plans and sleeping.
That was a
because our business is now at.
I might run a little bit of a practice out of there, but that's not the business. That's not our business.
Yeah. But in other words, it's not a front anymore in the same sense. It's essentially an agreement for storage and safe haven.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe I occasionally deliver a baby or something.
Sure. You never know. You never know what comes to the front door. I get it.
Whatever Mr. Miyagi wants.
All right, so here's the deal with.
What's wrong with Mr. Miyagi?
2017, man. It's 2017.
All right, so here's the deal with your section, your little slice of heaven in Night Market between the bridge to Coleridge and the Vale Social Club, is that you guys are like, this is where we're going to make our mark. We're going to be selling some excellent goods, especially from the clientele here at the Vale, when all of a sudden you hear that you've ruffled some feathers. And you've ruffled the feathers of none other than the renowned ancient society of antiquarians and scholars known as the Circle of Flame. All right.
Antiques Roadshow motherfuckers are going to step to us?
They pretty much, yes.
Yes, I know that.
With clubs and baton. They are well known to their turf is the Centuralia Club, which is in Six Towers, which is the sort of rundown old noble district. And they are well known to have a huge, vast treasury that is mostly funded by the membership of the club itself. They have an impressive collection of ancient artifacts, maps, and ephemera. So they have a lot of the stuff that you want. All right, but they see that you guys are starting to sort of sidle up to some of the clientele in the Vale, and that's their clients. They want to deal with those people. They want those people's secrets, and a lot of the members of the Vale are actually regular clientele. A lot of the clientele at the Vale are members of the Circle of Flame. So this gets back to them very quickly, that they're these new operators of new purveyors of arcane and spirit goods, trying to step on some of their turf. All right. Now, to be clear, they are not a street gang of sorts. You know what I mean? Like, they're not rough and toughs. They get other people to do that for them. They are extremely refined, almost to a man, extremely wealthy, with a lot of the most powerful members of the city as secret members.
Yeah, they're like tier 3 gang, right?
They are, yes.
Yeah.
So that is who you stepped on the foot of. So congratulations.
Oh,
well done. Now, let me go back to here. So you have your choice. That's the Circle of Flame.
So I think we pay them off.
Yeah, you pay them off. You can pay them extra to get +1 status with them, so that you're actually your buddies. Or you can say, fuck off, it's ours now, and you take -1 with them.
So we can pay them 1 to be sort of neutral, 2 to be buddies, or nothing to be kind of enemies.
Enemies, that's right, yeah. But it's -3 status is actually war.
Okay.
With the faction. So -1 is just sort of like, they're like, and they kind of raise an eyebrow at you. You know what I mean? Like, we don't like you guys, you know. Sure. 2 is like you're actually mutually working for each other and would actually kind of look out for each other. And then 1 is sort of like, you know, what's a little competition? All right, you know, there's enough to spread around, that kind of thing.
I would go for. Go ahead, Ted.
Well, I like the 1 coin, room to work, a little rivalry. I'm imagining
Also,
being in the Vale and looking at there's the 3 of us talking to a client, and I can see some dude from Circle of Flame over there giving us the.
Well, and at that point they're getting a little bit of our profits too, right? If we pay them 1 coin, like we're kind of cutting them in just enough to not take them off too much.
Yeah, and it's not recurring either. It's just a 1 coin payment immediately.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, 1 coin is a lot of money in this universe, though.
Yeah, it's not like a single coin.
It's like I think
measurement. Yeah,
it's like a week's wages or something is kind of
coin is everything. It's beautiful in this game. So it's what you're going for is the coin.
Right.
But also don't forget you drive your play your PC like you're driving a stolen car. Don't shy away from the bad shit. It creates interesting situations.
I would go 0 or 1. The only reason I would go 0 is because we're a couple Outlanders and we lost the war, and I sort of think fuck everybody here. But at the same time, doesn't seem very smart for business practices. So I think that's a good way to go.
Right. How about this, guys? How about this? We're in our lair. We've just discovered we've been approached by an envoy of the Circle of Flame. They've made us an offer, right? We have to vote on it, darlings. Come on, Clint. And what's your character's name, David?
Ryan.
Ryan.
You can whisper yay or nay to me if you want. If you want to do a blind vote.
I mean, I thought both of you guys wanted to do 1.
I'm cool with just paying the 1.
I think everyone wants to do 1.
1? Okay, that's fine. So you're going to pay 1 coin, and they're going to be like, okay, let's see where this goes.
All right, so I need to mark off a coin.
Yeah, mark off a coin.
And then, how do I mark off a coin? I do it like that, apparently. And then...
Now, if you go into the journal and you see faction status, it should be at the very top of your journal. And go into the character sheet for that. You'll see all the factions of Doskvol listed.
Faction status.
Now, you guys took the boring route, but I'm just kidding.
Nope, it's blank.
Hey, John, question.
Faction status is blank, John.
All right, give me 1 second.
Do you want to talk us out of it, David?
Okay, there you go.
No, I just wanted to understand the sort of makeup of Circle of Flame, because they're described as scholars and antiquarians. So I would presume they're sort of like upper class academia in this world in the underground.
I can't really stop you, but you would be doing yourself a disservice if you actually looked up the complete full description of them in the book.
Oh, I just read the little one sentence.
I'm just saying for future reference. Like there is a more like where they give you like the inner workings of the thing. I can't stop you guys from looking that up, but it'll be more fun if you discover that through play.
Oh, I'm not trying to look it up. I'm just trying to understand the makeup. Again, I'm thinking purely through the background of our characters and thinking about how I would feel about this society. Like, am I happily giving them gold, or am I reluctantly doing it, sort of thing?
I'm not even seeing the Circle of Flame on this list.
I'm actually not seeing it either.
I see a lot of things now. Whatever you did mostly worked. Do I need to add it, do you suppose?
I think I'm going to. Yeah, this is only for me to manipulate, by the way. But I have to allow you guys editing in order to see the character sheet, okay?
Oh, okay.
But you're going to want to take a look at this because all these statuses right now are well, a lot of them don't even know you exist, so they're just going to be at 0 no matter what. But they will range from -3 to +3. So I'm going to actually add it to...
they're basically Underworld, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best fit, so I'm going to add that. And they are tier 3.
And so hold refers to their hold on their territory?
Yes, if it's strong or weak, I just have to look what that is.
Okay, so in our crew sheet, I'll just make a note. We paid +1 coin for what's that? What for?
From them looking the other way, right? Or
room to work.
Room to work, yeah, room to work.
Room to work.
Armstrong.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not too late to talk us out of that, David.
No, I mean, I said, but I'm happy with either. I'm just trying to think of what our characters would do. A part of me feels like because we want room to work, we would pay, but a part of me feels like we're in at least two of us are in we're recently conquered military men in a foreign place filled with xenophobic assholes who want us dead and just waged war against us. And now they're like, give us money if you want to like live here and run a business. There's a part of me that thinks like, would we? But at the same time,
I think like
years ago though.
I thought it was recent that it ended.
Like
Maybe I may have misinterpreted.
I thought it was years ago. Like
the last.
not decades, but.
Oh, okay. But at the same time, we're trying to do a discrete business, so obviously
right.
we're not trying to like go to war.
Yeah, and I think we can play it out more like as we play. But I think a part of the game too is like, how does your character like serving their vices and personality affect your character as an effective part of this business?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
all right. Cool. Okay, so we had Circle of Flame as your faction that you have mollified for the time being. Okay. Now we have to choose one of a specific type of operation that is your favored one. You get bonuses if you get scores that are your favorite kinds of. If you do scores that are your favorite types of operations. So for hawkers, you can do a sail, supply, a show of force, or socialize. Now you can do any of these, but one of them you're particularly good at, or that you rather would do. So a sale is a significant transaction with a special buyer of illicit product. That sounds like what you've been talking about. Supply is a transaction to acquire new product or establish a new supplier. Show of force is make an example of an enemy to dominate territory. And socialize, improve customer and or supplier relations with a social event. So, choosing one does not preclude the other ones.
Right.
It's just one of them you're particularly good at. Which one are you favored?
Well, we're here at the Vale. I mean,
to be clear, too, you're not in the Vale. You just have access to the Vale. But yeah.
No. I mean,
yeah.
Broadly.
I like sales. I think sales are show of force, but only because we have military men. Go and smash other people's antiques. I don't know what that means specifically, but like
supply and demand, baby. If they ain't got the supply.
Actually, I quite like that idea, Chris. Sort of, it would be a real shame if something happened to your ancient artifacts here.
It'd be a real shame if I blew up your museum with my home-built bombs.
You want to rethink what you're about to say to me? As you hold up the detonator.
But also, like, sales is what we're talking about, and we have sort of that sales vibe, so I could go. I'm also thinking of, like, getting more of an emphasis on what David's good at. Rind.
What do you think? Sale? Is everyone cool with that, or are we waffling?
Well, I have to say, somehow, I think Chris is onto something here. Somehow, as a personal player, the sale, or the socialize, are going to be the harder parts for me to sort of come up with. But I like the idea of the show of force being what this particular gang is good at. We may not be great at selling.
Yeah, it's cool. It's an interesting.
Smashing the other guy's stall, we could probably be really good at.
There'd be a lot of fun opportunities with that. But once again, you can do all of them. It's just this one you get bonuses. That's all.
Well, you're a pretty charming performer, Ted. Yeah.
Well, that's the idea that I would eventually be one. I don't know if I want.
Because you're aspiring still.
You'll also have the opportunity. You'll have the opportunity as you gain more power to actually get other favored operation types as well.
From the same list or new ones?
From the same list, unless you end up changing crews for some role-playing reason.
What is the advantage to when you do that particular type of operation?
Let me check it right here. You get +1 die to any gather information rolls, and you get a free additional downtime activity to contribute to any to contribute to that particular operation type.
Okay.
You usually only get 2 downtime activities per character,
Right.
So you would get a third one as long as it's directly related to an operation involving that specific type, which is pretty sweet.
Riffing off of what Chris was saying, there's something to the idea that we are new in the market, and the best way to become known in the market is to eliminate the competition's supply. Honestly,
supply.
Eliminate their supply.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think we can start with show of force, and then as we grow, we can get into supply.
Get more refined.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We got to start by throwing
I think that's a good
suggestion.
window.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So we're gonna go with show of force.
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
This is a favored operation.
Favorite operation, yes.
We're trying to kill our competition's
violent anti-dealers,
and then we'll fill the void. We'll come in, arms open, saying, "Hey, things have been really rough. You can't get what you want lately, huh? Well, we can provide."
Yeah, totally. So it says when you acquire turf, you also expand the size and/or the type of your hunting grounds. So, and then we can detail the new area and/or methods with help from the GM. So
cool.
All right. Okay. Let's power through here, guys. Are you guys okay? I know it's past 11:30. Can we power through?
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay, cool. All right. Next up is a fun one. Choose a special ability. So much like your character, you choose one, and similar to the character, if you can't decide which one to pick, the first one is a good default. Once again, pick one that everyone's excited about.
Hooked. We're all using ancient artifacts. We're totally addicted.
Those are our gangs, so those would be people under us once we get hirelings and stuff, right?
This is kind of a cool little piece of advice, too. They said, just like picking the crew type, reputation, lair, and hunting grounds, choosing a special ability is another chance to focus the game down to a more specific range of possibilities. Mm-hmm. So, yes, this will definitely define a lot of your crew's flavor here. So, as long as it doesn't have a prerequisite, you can pick any one of those.
I kind of like the good stuff.
I do too.
Like we're small, but we have access to some, awesome cache of rare artifacts.
So you can get tier 2 stuff right off the bat.
Yeah,
I like the good stuff. We go destroy the enemies.
Yeah. Did you even tell you who?
I like the good stuff. It's the first thing that came up to me as well.
Cool.
All right.
The good stuff.
On that. Yeah. The good stuff.
Excellent.
Okay.
Dig it. All right, and now assign crew upgrades. This got a little confusing for me when I was reading it, but upgrades are different than special abilities. Just important to remember. Upgrade is a valuable asset that helps the crew in some way, like a boat or a gang.
Ooh.
Each crew type has 2 pre-selected upgrades that suit that crew. So you can see that I believe it's secure and resolve have already been chosen for you.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So you can choose from the specific upgrades available to your crew type or the general upgrades on the crew sheet. So the ones that are grayed out are the ones that are specific to hawkers, and then the other ones that are white are the general ones. So you can choose among those.
2 total?
You get 2 additional ones besides secure and resolve.
Cool. And then 2.
Sorry, when you assign your 2 upgrades, the GM will tell you about 2 factions that are impacted by your choices. One faction helped you get an upgrade. They like you, and you get +1 status with them. Or you can spend 1 coin to repay their kindness and take +2 status with them instead. And then another faction was screwed over when you got an upgrade. They don't like you, and you get -2 status with them. And at your option, you can spend 1 coin to mollify them and take -1 status with them instead.
Okay. Well, we only have 1 coin left, and I don't want to start the game empty-handed, so we might as well just piss some people off.
So if you don't want to spend, you're looking at 1 with +2 and 1 with -2.
How do you guys feel about having some elite thugs?
Sure.
If we're going with that kind of forcefulness.
You can call upon muscle. Is that
our rooks? Yeah, I think so.
What's a
John?
rook, John?
I'm looking. Hold on.
Okay. I also like the look of quality documents.
I like that too. I like that a
Am I
lot.
missing that? Where is that listed?
Under Hawkers?
On the crew sheet?
On the Hawkers sheet?
Yeah.
Directly below where it says
Elite Thugs.
I only have Elite Thugs is the last item on the list.
Yeah, and then
you see where it says layer? Quality?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right. So one of these things that you can get is an actual cohort. So a cohort could actually be a gang. So.
Oh, actually, if I may point something out, guys.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the crew upgrades list in the rulebook.
Yeah.
And one of them, it says, is for your lair. Quarters. Your lair includes living quarters for your crew. Without this upgrade, each PC sleeps elsewhere and is vulnerable when they do so. Now, that's how we've imagined it right now. This is our opportunity to change that.
I kind of like maybe we all live above the shop.
Okay.
I mean, it's one option. It means we won't be taking something else, like thugs or documents or something.
I'm not in love with thugs, honestly.
I think we have enough bombs from our dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need thugs, and we have a sharpshooter. We can just do it a little.
I definitely like quality documents, especially as doing what we do.
I don't see an explanation for that.
For what?
For quality documents, what that really means. I'm guessing documents means we can make it look like these are legit artifacts.
And then, John, you said the Hawker's Rigging and the Iron Hook Convex, the two grayed out things, are specific only to our faction.
And the elite rooks and the elite thugs. But the rooks and the thugs, you don't just get elite thugs by marking that. You have to get a cohort of just thugs, and then you attach elite. So elite thugs requires a thug cohort.
I also like, because we're both military men, maybe composed, which would give us more stress.
I do like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think the three that were kind of on the table are composed, quarters, and elite and quality documents.
Yeah, I like composed. I like quarters. I like documents.
We have two.
I like the Hawker's Rigging.
So, yeah, the quality one is
That's
improve the quality rating of all of your items, all of the PC's items of that type beyond the quality established by the crew's tier in fine items. So any fine item that you have in your playbook is already +1 tier to what you are currently. So it would be like tier 1 for your fine items, or maybe it's +2, but whatever. But if you got quality gear, it would improve it by what?
Oh, so I don't actually have documents as part of my gear.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look at my.
Oh, I do have documents as part of my gear. Oh yeah.
Or if you acquire an asset, like if you use a downtime activity to acquire some documents, then you would get actually a better quality of documents than what your role would actually tell you. You would get +1 tier, that kind of thing. So what are you thinking? It's good that you have actually a secure one right now, which is nice.
Yeah, let's do. I would do. I like composed a lot, and yeah, I would do either quarters or documents. What do you guys think?
Fine by me.
I would say
quarters.
I would say quarters. And what was the other one you wanted?
I think composed way up at the top, which gives us more stress. Is that an additional stress box each? I mean, yeah, because stress is individual, right?
Compose each piece of yes. So
it'll make gameplay a lot more fun too, I think.
Well, we'll take more risks,
but you can't actually take that one yet because it costs 3 upgrades to unlock, not just.
Oh, that's a cost.
Yeah.
That's not 3
option now. Okay.
Quarters and documents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Quarters and documents.
And documents.
Okay.
Real quick question.
Yeah.
Hidden, as in the layer isn't detectable?
Well, but it's secure already.
That's
right.
I'm a little confused. In other words, because secure and hidden seem a little redundant.
Well, no,
I mean they're fictional.
Hidden layer, it has a secret location and is disguised.
Gotcha.
The secure layer has locks, traps, and alarms.
Also, secure is one that we start with, so we can't get rid of it.
No, I don't want to get rid of it. I'm just trying to figure out if hidden is a valuable addition. I think we just stick with documents.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Although
So
would be really nice.
the resolve training. So if you have that, you earn 2 XP when instead of 1 when you train a given XP track during downtime. You have either insight, prowess, or resolve. You have resolve.
Okay.
So it basically helps you advance more quickly with resolve. So it's pretty
cool,
pretty sweet. Okay. All right. So I dig that. Awesome. Let's go. Okay. We got our upgrades. Okay, so we don't have time to actually select the factions right now, but I'm definitely going to do that in the off time. But one faction we have to determine now. So you have one faction hooked you up with either quarters or documents. All right, they like you, and you get +1 status with them. Okay, you can get +2 status with them if you spend your last coin.
No.
Nope. Okay, so assume that you get +1 status with them because they like your moxie, and they helped you get an upgrade. Okay, so which one of those two do you want them to the faction that likes you to have given you?
Documents.
Documents is the up one.
Right. I like, because what I was thinking is the reason we're living in our lair is because we pissed off that other faction.
Okay, cool.
Like we used to be, we used to have places to live, and we got into some shit, and so we're like, sleeping on, sacks of hay in our lair, and living like pigs because
that's good. Yeah, this will be a different faction.
We have quarters.
No, I know. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The quarters are in our lair,
right?
Rather than
by virtue of the fact that they're quarters means that I think we have like beds and stuff.
Yeah, I'll figure. It's something for me to figure out. I'll figure out a fashion, but whatever. Your quarters are something that you screwed somebody out of. So I'm going to figure that out.
Okay. We literally kicked a family out.
And obviously, you're not going to spend your last coin to take a -1 instead of a -2, right?
Nope.
Okay, so you're going to be -2 with them. You're on the verge of war with these guys.
Good. Well,
all right.
Go force,
because you took their beds. Okay. Choose a favorite contact. Okay, take a look at your list of potential contacts in the crew sheet. Hopefully, these have been populated, right?
Yep. It is populated.
Okay. Choose one contact who is a close friend, longtime ally, or partner in crime.
Smuggler, man. We got to get that stuff from somewhere.
I was going to say deal broker, but what do
Either
you
one.
David?
I think you broker our deals for us.
I like the corrupt cop, the blue coat.
That doesn't mean he's corrupt. It just means we know him.
He looks the other way when we're doing stuff, but yeah.
Presumably.
Yeah, these can be anything. The blue coat might be an up and up guy. You never know.
Right.
Almost everyone's dirty though.
Yeah.
Frankly, to be honest, it's Doskvol after all.
The smuggler idea is good. Because it's our source.
Yeah.
It's coming in from the Badlands or whatever they're called. The Deadlands, Badlands. What is it?
The Deathlands.
And we do this in.
So you want to do Hawksley? It's actually supposed to be an X, not an S. Hawksley.
Sure.
Oh, I think I can modify it. Hold on.
Let's do it.
Nope. I can't modify it. All right. Smuggler.
Contacts is Hawksley. Okay, cool. Now, here's the deal. With that particular contact, one faction is also friendly with this contact, and you get +1 status with that faction. One faction is unfriendly with that contact, and you get -1 status with them. Okay? So you can see how, the world around you sort of builds outwards based on all this stuff, So now you're going to have, 4 or 5 factions who you have differing levels with, and that will automatically generate scores and all that kind of stuff. It just kind of flows naturally outward from the fiction.
Right.
So, now, at your option, these factions are even more concerned with Hawksley, and so you take a +2 and a -2 instead, without any coin expenditure. You can just decide that you want that, but you have to take +2 -2, not +2 -1. You understand what I'm saying? So I can't give you the factions right now. We don't have the time. But would you want to take +1 -1, or do you want to go big and go +2 -2?
Let's go big.
Let's go big.
Yeah. Stolen car, right?
I love it. All right. And guess what? I think we did it. I think we're good to go. So all we have to do, and this is mostly on me, is actually create those factions that are going to be your enemies and friends and stuff like that. And then I will obviously message you guys that stuff, and we'll go over it next time for everyone's benefit. All right.
Wait, we're not done, John. We have not named our crew.
You haven't. Now, that's often even more so than a character name. That might be something that comes about in play. You guys are nothing right now. Like, if you want a name to naturally arise from the streets, perhaps, or you can just kind of, it can kind of come out and play. That's what I've seen happen in both of the John Harper led series. But if you actually want to, like, puff up your feathers right now and kind of establish yourself, you could give yourself a badass name right now to work towards. Because right now you are not badass. I'm just letting you.
Right. Just in the interest of time at the moment, can I request that we leave that?
Save it till next time. Yeah, of course.
Next time or later on.
All right, I love it. So we have a leech, a hound, and a slide in a group of hawkers that sell arcane artifacts in the night market outside the Vale.
Well, we could name it after James Bond and call it Universal Exports.
How about Acme?
Acme. Awesome.
Acme in the tubes.
I could see that in one of those huge Victorian letters on the side of like some factory where children work.
I love it.
Acme.
How about we call it the Children Factory?
Awful. All right, I dig it. That sounds good.
Cool, guys.
All right.
So,
all right. Next we have to plan an operation. Is that right?
No, there's no planning, man. We just drop right into one. So what I'll do next time is we'll start up the starting situation.
But we don't get downtime?
No, not to begin with. When you start off, we're going to jump right into it. So we're going to start off with, I'm going to give you a very brief description of what's happening, and then you're going to start making rolls right then and there. And we'll use flashbacks to get yourselves out of the imminent trouble that you are bound to be in within minutes of starting.
Great.
All right. All right, guys. That was super fun.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's see if we can do it again next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, we'll talk about it online.
We'll plan about it offline, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Offline.
Okay,
Okay.
everyone.
Thanks to the Arrow Gamer for tuning in the whole time.
Yeah, I wonder who that was.
We had one watcher?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
I've been watching the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Watching the what?
The Twitch chat.
Oh, and this. How do you watch that?
We'll explain it next time.
Yes, but thank you, Arrow Gamer, for following the entire time. Our one lone audience member. You're a trooper.
All right.
It's probably one of those Trump microwaves watching us.
Don't ever accuse him of that.
All right,
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.